Welcome back to another episode of Truth, where we talk all things marriage. So, can you introduce yourselves to us, please?
My name is Dave.
And I'm Kristi.
And we're the Pfeiffers.
Nice to meet you. Did you live in Alberta or where do you live?
We live near Edmonton, Alberta.
Nice. Now, Dave, what was your first impression of Kristi when you first met her?
Well, she was a returned missionary with our church, and I was actually visiting the household that she came home to, and I saw her show up, and because the other girls were actually a little bit younger, and so I saw this girl that was a little bit older that came back from a mission, which was important to me, and I just kind of thought, hey, who's this good-looking girl?
So what you're saying is I looked good on paper?
On paper.
Yeah, the list of things about me looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Kristi, what was your first impression of Dave?
Well, so I noticed Dave before I met him at my house. He was playing piano at the church after an activity, and I was really impressed with his piano skills. I took piano for a lot of years, but never excelled at it, but I love music, so I was pretty impressed with that. My sister had actually even told me about him when I was on my mission, and she'd written in a letter about this guy she knew who played piano really well.
Wow. Yeah. Did you know this, Dave? Or is this the first time you're hearing this?
I didn't know your sister was telling you about me.
Yeah, I don't think she told me your name or anything.
She just said there's some
I just knew there was a guy, yeah.
That can play piano.
Yeah.
So who showed interest first?
I was interested first, but I didn't show it because I didn't want to scare him off. So I got my roommates to ask him out on a date with me.
Yes.
So that he wouldn't know it was me who was interested.
She likes to think that she was playing tricks to get me out and stuff.
Not tricks, I was orchestrating.
Orchestrating us to get together.
Yeah.
But little did she know she didn't have to orchestrate because I was kind of planning the same thing too. So
This is so cute. Okay, so how long did you court for?
3 months?
4 months.
4 months.
Well, I mean,
It was the end of November.
we dated for 2 months before we got engaged.
Yeah. And then we were engaged for
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
Nice. So a short engagement.
Very
Yeah.
short engagement.
Nice.
Yep. Dave was pretty old, so.
I was a little bit older. I was always of the state, if you find somebody you feel you want to marry, well, what are we waiting for? Let's get our life started. I've dated other girls. Kristi's dated other guys, and I've had my experiences, and I kind of gathered and knew what I wanted from there, and she had all the things that I wanted, and I thought she'd make a great wife and mother, so I thought, why let her go?
Interesting. So what was, like, when did you know that she was the one? Like, can you tell us what happened? Like,
it's actually kind of interesting because there wasn't a specific time.
okay.
It wasn't, hey, I know that I'm going to marry this person. But while we were dating, I mean, every time we spent a lot of time together, we had I was living with some other guys, and when she would come over, it was kind of not a party house really, but kind of a place of gathering, I guess. And we always spent time together. My roommates would say, we know your guys are going to get married. We kind of thought about it. I mean, I'd always look for qualities in a wife, and I kind of felt like, yeah, she could make a good wife. And then it was when I was on my skydiving trip, I really knew that, okay, I'm going to propose to her when I get her back. So.
We also had spent a lot of time with our especially with my family together. He started coming home to my family's house every Sunday for dinner, and it was only a few weeks in when my dad was giving his approval. And in my family, that is something really important. My dad could really, he could really see people, and he could see pretty early on that we would be a match that he would approve of at least. Yeah.
So was there a moment that you knew Dave was the one? Or was it just kind of similar to Dave's?
It was
Not-
similar
not
to
on
Dave's.
Christmas.
It was gradual. It just very comfortably evolved into we were inseparable, and we just kind of knew kind of together. It really did kind of happen together at the same time. Yeah.
I think that's one thing that was very important and helped me reassure that I knew this was it, because it makes it sound bad. This is it. That she was one because we just felt comfortable. There was no pressure or feeling, oh, is this the right one? Is this gonna have all the things to worry? There was no worry. There's just everything just fell into place, and it was by the time we realized it, we're already there. It's like, hey, it looks like we're gonna be getting married.
But it also wasn't like insanely high feelings, if you know what I mean. It wasn't so intense that any kind of fall would have been crazy. It was just very peaceful. That's the word. It was a very peaceful
it was a calm, peaceful
evolution.
Yeah.
So who proposed to who? I know sometimes people think it's a crazy question, but there are cases where the female proposes.
Yes, I did propose. It wasn't as this romantic thing that I felt in how I had it all planned out. So, in a long story short, I was at a skydiving. I did a lot of skydiving. I was at a skydiving trip for a week. I came back. The day I flew back, I flew in. I came over to where she was living, knocked on the door. I think I might have said something.
I think you were over for a while.
No, it was right at the door.
Oh, it was right at the door?
Because
you dropped off the book.
I dropped something off. Oh yeah, because we had a book that went back and forth.
We would just write each other notes back and forth in the book. Yeah, so he dropped off the book.
And then as you were reading it, I think it said, look up. And I was there with a ring. And I said, would you marry me?
You were waiting outside in the book.
Oh yeah, because I gave you the book and then you went inside.
And I was reading
and I was sitting there waiting. It was cold out.
Yeah, because it was January.
And I said, would you marry me? And she says, okay. I'm like, what?
She just said okay?
She just said okay.
I said it in a nice, excited way, like, okay.
Okay. That's all it was. I'm like, oh.
So you weren't hesitant at all? You just...
No, we already had, even though that's when he was officially proposing, we had already decided together that we would be getting married. We discussed it. So it wasn't a surprise. Like, it was a surprise he proposed that night, but we had already decided together that we would be getting married. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. So how long have you been married for now?
I answered last time, so
okay.
Remember?
In March it'll be 13 years.
Wow.
March 17th.
Yeah.
To be exact.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Now
we made it so far.
And you're doing well. Like, you have a great family. So
yeah, you know, it's definitely up and down, but our good times are really good, right? Yeah.
Now, we love you guys so much because, you know, you're people of faith, just like us. How important was it that you didn't get involved sexually before marriage?
Very important.
That's one of our big beliefs is, and it actually came to a point because while you're dating, obviously feelings start to arise and stuff, and it came to a point where we felt it was getting pretty strong that we had to make the decision not to actually kiss until we got married. Because we recognized the feelings.
We had to set our limit pretty low because we knew that it was tricky. Yeah.
So we did what we had to do to safeguard ourselves.
Excellent. Yeah. So if you could put it in words, like, what kind of advice would you give a young couple that's about to get married or that's courting about how to, you know, not get themselves into trouble in that red area, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say that when you are heading in that direction, it is so intense that sometimes it's hard to see beyond that night or the next, you know, that, like, it's so hard to wait. But in reality, life is a long time. It is a long time, and just try to keep your perspective long so that you are making decisions for the future and not just for the moment. And that, I think that can help you to protect yourself and your partner.
I think once you have that, it's an important discussion to have. Obviously, we knew our standards before we even met because we come from the same faith. But one of the most important things is to know what's important to us, because even if you have the same faith, some people, you know, there's
Variation.
everyone's individual.
Yeah.
But it's a discussion that we brought up. That's something that's important to us. And at what point do we find it's going to be, hey, we got to step back?
Yeah.
So we always got to know, just like Kristi said, you'll be out, you'll have some time alone, and things can be at a point where it could get, in a sense, dangerous. And so you got to recognize that and be willing to be strong for each other, to say, hey, this is too far, but respect that it's not a rejection. It's an understanding of, I value my future with you, and that making that mistake in the moment could change your future a lot.
I love the way you put that.
And when waiting is important to both of you, and you show each other that you're strong enough to do it, you're showing each other too that when things get hard in the future, if there's other things that are tempting you, you're showing each other that you're strong enough to say no, not just at that moment before you're married, but also later when you've been married for a long time and something else could be tempting, whether it's chastity or whether it's something else.
Wow, I love that. I've never thought about it like that, that it's showing you yourselves that in the future you can also, you know, stand
You can do
strong.
hard things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So did you guys do marital counseling?
We didn't actually. There are courses, which I took the class on my own another time. They just have like marriage prep courses.
Okay.
Did you ever go to that?
No, we didn't. I guess you wouldn't say we had marriage counseling per se, but a lot of the times we're counseled from our bishop within the church.
Which we did actually. We did meet with the bishop.
Okay.
So it wasn't a series of meetings.
It wasn't a course.
It wasn't a course, but we did do some.
But
counseling.
we have been given guidelines and things to be aware of and to watch out for and stuff. So we've been given some pointers. I
And you felt that has helped?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And also from both of sets of our parents too.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we were married.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us about your wedding day.
Well, I'm not the bridezilla type, and I didn't care too much about, you know, what was gonna happen. We really relied on our families to set that day up, and they did a beautiful job. In our church, we get married in the temple, and so we had that ceremony in the temple, and then we went to the church after and had a big ring ceremony. We had a big family dinner with family and close friends, and then a reception in the evening. The day was a blur. It went by so fast.
Yeah. The thing I remember was the night before, because that was my stag, if you will. It was just a bunch of people that got together at my parents' place, and that's, I guess, when it really hit me, is that I'm going to be married tomorrow. I am going to be a husband tomorrow. All that really started hitting me around 10 o'clock at night. I really remember that. And then getting up in the morning, getting ready, and everything, you know, it kind of felt surreal. But, yeah, like Kristi said, and that's one thing I really appreciate about her. She wasn't much the bridezilla type of thing. It was more about a marriage rather than a wedding that was important, and that we could focus on, not so much focus on the material things, I guess. Because I'm not a big material person.
It was about being with our families and with each other.
Being with each other, and
lots of our friends came. It was really a good day. Like, we're just so happy to see everybody and to be like an official partnership. And
Is there anything you would change about that day if you could go back?
I don't think
maybe
so.
Maybe the wedding cake.
Why? What was wrong with it?
Nothing. It was beautiful. I just don't like carrot cake. But like I said, we didn't really care what was. You know, I don't mind.
It's one thing I know that you would change is having a photographer.
Yeah, we didn't hire a photographer, and I wish we would have done that. But that's just
Again, that's material.
Yeah, it's a material thing. Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything.
We still had some pretty great pictures from that day from family, so. Yeah.
So what was the one surprising thing you learned about each other in your first year of marriage?
Oh, so we got to
I'm
limit
sure
it
there
to
were
one?
many, but tell us
I'm
the
curious.
one
You tell me. I
most
think you know what I'm
surprising.
going to say about you.
Well, I don't know if I can. Okay, well, there's I guess one general thing. Because we courted so short time and stuff, it's not a lot of time to actually get to know people in all states when they're happy,
Yeah.
they're sad, they're angry, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel, I mean, just kind of setting the stage here. I feel is a lot of people think that they need a couple years to kind of figure all that stuff out. Well, you're never going to figure out somebody.
Everything.
Everything. Back to the importance of it all. If you both have the same focus between you, yourself, and God as a partnership between the three of you, you can get through anything.
Yes.
We talk about it often about situations when things get hard.
Yeah.
That hey, this is just a situation. This is a thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to be like the rest of the world and give up.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this together. If we need help, we pray about it. We reach out. There's a third person that's involved in this marriage to help us.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing back to the question, I'm a very neat person. I'm a very organized. I like lists. I like things that are done in order.
Mm-hmm.
Planning. Kristi's,
Budgeting.
yes.
Budgeting.
Budgeting, all that kind of stuff. I've always been one like that. Kristi's more of a free bird.
Like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, in all honesty, I had a conversation with somebody recently that I'm glad to learn that a little bit. I still like to have my organization, but sometimes it's okay just to go with the flow and be spontaneous a little bit more. But that's one thing that I
was surprised.
was surprised.
Because when we were dating,
still-
there wasn't a ton of stuff we needed to organize. Right?
No, because
we
she
were
had
just,
her place and I had my place.
Yeah, we lived
Right.
in separate homes, and we were
Don't
whenever
live
we got
together.
together, we were just watching movies or going out with friends or doing whatever. And
So
yeah,
Okay. What about you, Kristi? What's the one thing?
I didn't know that Dave had a temper, and shortly after we got married, he and his dad had a heated discussion when we were visiting his dad, and I just didn't know. I didn't know that he had a bit of a temper. Yeah.
So how did you react? Like,
I remember that event very well. He was ready for us to pack up and leave, and I was able to talk him down, and he and his dad had said some things to each other, and he was putting all his stuff in his bag, and I was able to talk him down to a more reasonable level, and then when his dad came to apologize, which was not always the way it would have been between them.
never.
It-
would have been.
It never would have been, but his dad, for some reason that day, was ready in his heart to apologize to you, and you were ready to accept it because you had been able to,
Well, he's never apologized to me before.
yeah. And it
so
ended
that
up
was
being
a
a
different-
really,
that was shocking, eh?
It was a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something I'd never seen, so I think it actually helped the relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they saw each other
Mhm.
in that moment instead of just feeling for both of them their anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if there was one word, again, to describe your first 5 years of marriage, what would that one word be?
Babies. We had all of our kids within the first 5, or I think within the first 6 years, all the kids. No, 5 years, because yeah.
That describes our marriage.
Yeah. They took over everything.
Yeah.
Like little
People everywhere.
little people, our little army that we made that was turning on us. That was turning on our marriage. Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say, Dave?
One word to describe our marriage.
Yes, sir.
First 5 years.
The first 5 years?
Yeah, so that would be 2007 to 2012.
Work.
Yeah.
It was it's like having kids. It's
Like the marriage is
you-
like a kid?
no.
Oh.
With a marriage, you have this idea, but that's all you ever have.
Yeah.
And you imagine this thing and that it's going to happen like this. It's a whirlwind. It's different. It's not what you, some of it, sometimes it is great and everything. Sometimes there's hard things. But as over the years you realize those hard things, if you let it or work with them, they can help you to become stronger. So I would say work.
Yeah, we didn't have one of those, you know, like some people have like that first year is just miraculous and perfect, and then later it kind of sets in. It was pretty soon. We got pregnant pretty soon, and I was sick all the time, and that's not very fun for a husband, right? And it's not very fun for me either. We were just like these boring blobs half the time because I was so sick. Yeah.
I think again it goes back to, for me anyway, it goes back to faith, you know, because when the going gets tough, I think it's our faith that really keeps us grounded, you know, because lately, like if you look at the amount of people that are getting divorced, it's so crazy, like so many people, because they feel that, you know, whatever is happening, they can't work through it, they can't see the future, they're just seeing now. You know, so
and you know, if we didn't have our faith, we easily could have been a couple who it hasn't worked out for, because things haven't, you know, they haven't been easy the whole time, but they have been easy some of the time.
Well, that's the thing. Christ has been here to take those burdens off of us, to be able to help us get beyond what we can do ourselves. And I think if people don't recognize that or have that in their life, it's gonna be tough, and people can't make it.
And also sometimes one or both people aren't willing to put in the effort, and if one person isn't willing, how far do you carry that? That's, you know, that's hard for someone who feels like they're carrying it alone. And I feel like probably both of us at times have been too tired, but there's always been at least one of us who was still willing to go, and
You've been carrying it a lot more than I have.
Sometimes, but
but you've been the strong one. You put up with a lot of my crap, so.
Yeah, but you're willing to change, so.
Oh, you guys, I love you guys so much. I really do. I'm serious. Did you guys talk about kids? Like how many kids you wanted to have before getting married?
I said 6 to 8.
What?
And I said 2.
He said 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
I remember where we were when we had
We
that
were
discussion.
at that restaurant.
Oh, I thought we were in my kitchen
No.
washing dishes.
We were in a restaurant, and I remember that because you said 6. I remember you saying 6, and I said 2, and I was like, we weren't, I think it was just,
We were
socializing.
washing dishes at my apartment, or at my house.
Anyways, so maybe it came up a couple times.
Yeah, maybe.
But then we decided together on 4, collectively.
Yeah.
But then after 3, we realized we want to stay married.
Yeah.
We want to.
We chose our marriage over the 4th child
kids, right?
that didn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
There's still time. The 4th kid can still come, so that's okay.
We got the dog now. So.
There's our 4th.
Yeah. Although, you know, I have found myself every once in a while when I'm saying my prayers, I'll say, you know, like if you want to give us a miracle child, we'll
Go
take
ahead,
it.
right?
Yeah, we would know it was a miracle. So
We'll be praying for you guys in that area.
Okay.
Did things go exactly how you planned? Because I've heard of stories where people plan on how many children they want, and then they have problems conceiving or whatever. Did things go exactly how you planned?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
it just
I think I have an interesting story on that one.
okay.
Let's hear
Well, it's
it.
not just interesting, it's actually a spiritual experience, if you recall. We didn't know, we prayed about when should we start having kids right after we got married.
Yeah.
Because a couple factors, I am 7 years older than Kristi is. And so I was later in my year, I was 31 when we got married. And so I wanted to start, we kind of factored it out. I wanted to start having kids right away because I didn't want to have kids while I was still older.
When you're in your 40s and
But so we decided. I mean, yes, it comes down to how do you call it? Family planning, I guess.
Yeah.
But we thought, you know what? let's just be natural about everything, and let's let the Lord decide. When it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
It happened after we went to a temple. The temple is a place for us to actually, there's a few things that go on there, but more importantly, it's for us to ponder, and it's the closest that we can connect ourselves with God in His holy place. So while we're there, we were there for a specific purpose of making this decision. And we both felt 3 months. Like, I felt distinctively 3 months.
Yeah.
And then that's when we're kind of like, well, let's not plan it. Let's just, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
And it was almost 3 months to the day
Yeah.
Wow.
that she got, that improved my,
You know, like
increased
looking back on like
increased my
dates and
faith.
stuff, you could
Wow.
see like it was 3 months after we got married.
that she got
Yeah.
pregnant. And so that helped solidify my
Yeah.
faith
Yeah.
as well as to what our plan was
Yeah.
with children. And
Yeah.
I mean, when it came down to, we were on our way to 4. I would have liked a 4th.
We both would have liked another one, but that was a spiritual thing for me. 3 times because it was something I was really pondering. Dave was getting older, and I was 30, and that's kind of when I planned to be finished by. But it was time, anyways, for us to decide. And 3 times I got very specific answers that told me that no, it was best for our family to be. That was what our number was.
Okay.
Yeah. So then after that, we and Dave trusted my decision. He put it into my hands, and also, you know, like, it was important to him, but he was letting me make the final decision, and I felt very strongly like we needed to be finished.
I remember coming downstairs saying, come on, 4th, now or never.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, what's happening here? She's like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
She had a headache or something.
And at the time, we didn't realize, but my dad was dying. And I really feel like if I would have been pregnant that year, I don't, like, just because I would get so sick, and it was always hard on us as a couple. Not only during the pregnancy, but for at least a year afterwards. I was not myself. And I just think that could have been something, you know, maybe just God could see that it was too much for our family. Yeah. And we have our kids, right? And
they're wonderful.
Yeah, and we have our nieces and nephews. We have the kids that our kids are friends with. Like, I feel like there's lots of children in our life, and as far as that goes, we're where we're supposed to be.
Nice. Now, how has having kids changed your relationship?
Ooh.
I want to hear what you're going to say about this.
It's been a challenge. I think a lot of the times dealing with kids, I don't have patience, as I think a lot of parents don't. We all gotta learn that. I've grown up, I think because I was a little bit older, I've had less patience dealing with things because I like to get things done, I like things organized. I mean, that could have been part of my struggle, is because I like things in a certain way, and kids, it doesn't work that way. Which put a strain for a long time. I always thought, you know what, maybe we should have spent more time together, or I can't wait till the kids get out of the house so I can just be with my wife. But then you lose focus, and then you think, I mean, things would go through my head that everything became a problem. It's very frustrating. I had a hard time with it. I had a real hard time with it. As the kids are getting older, as I'm trying harder, as whatever takes play for me to try and improve that, things get easier. Now, I don't know if it's easier because they're older, or because I'm making some changes, or we're making changes as a family, or what it is. But it's always a challenge. It is a challenge. I'm not gonna lie, there's been a lot of times where they say, oh, having kids is the best thing, and I'm like, whoever said that? Horrible. But there's all those moments. It could be 2 days of heck with the kid, but all it takes is that one moment when they come up and cuddle with you and stuff, and everything else is forgotten.
Changes everything.
Or proud moments of them coming seeing them succeed on the basketball team, get that basket, and see how excited they are.
Yeah.
Seeing
I mean,
their
that
music, like they're
Their
so good
music
at
potentials,
music.
yeah. So those are really proud moments where you can, you start to think, oh, okay,
They're not
Yeah.
so bad.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how there's something that will always, something we made together, right? They're not always easy. Sometimes we're both frustrated about the same thing, or sometimes he might be the one in a situation that's like, okay, Kristi, like, chill out, like they're just the kids, or I might do that too. And I think about the boulder rolling down the hill, getting all of the rough edges knocked off, and I feel like kids have definitely done that for us as individuals and as a couple. They're helping to smooth us out. It just hurts, along the way when you're rolling down that hill.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So how do you guys make time for each other?
There's supposed to be time for each other.
Apparently.
We don't go out very often on dates, but the kids go to bed fairly early.
Okay.
So if we want to, we've always been able to spend time together in the evening after the kids go to bed.
Nice.
For a long time, like especially when the kids were young, we would just like sit in front of the TV because we're so tired.
That's
we
the
want
best thing,
entertainment.
though.
Yeah, I
That's our
still
best time.
we still really like to do that.
We haven't
That's
done
us
that in a
now.
long time.
Mhm.
I think that's one thing that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Kristi's more of a night person. I'm more of a, used to be more of a morning person. I'm not sure where I'm
Now
at
you're
right
just
now.
like sleeping all the time.
Yeah, I just sleep all the time. So I'll go, a lot of the times, often I'll go to bed earlier than Kristi, or we'll actually go to bed the same time the kids do, and then just spend time together,
Yeah.
like chatting or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of my best moments are when everything's done, then you just sit back and just relax and chill,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So those,
Yeah. I also love like double dates and stuff. We have some good friends and that we like to spend time with, and that's always fun. I like to see, when we bounce off not just each other but like other people too. Like sometimes you can really see the good part about someone when you see them with other people too, and we've always enjoyed hanging
Or
out with our
meeting new
friends
people.
or meeting new people. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you guys keep your marriage spicy?
Spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had your chicken tonight. That was
One
spicy
way.
for both of us. We like to get away a couple of weekends a year if we can. Last year for my birthday, Dave surprised me with a weekend away in Banff.
Wow.
So did we drop off the kids with my mom?
last year?
Yeah, wasn't that last year? Was that 2 years ago? Oh, last year we went to Costa Rica. We try to get away, like I said, like at least once a year. It's not always to Costa Rica, but last year we did go there with some friends and just us, like not the kids. And when we went to Banff, that must have been 2 years ago. Just get away for a weekend.
Oh,
We
I
both
love going
like
to Banff,
camping.
so.
So in the summer, if we can, we like to get away for a weekend, either with another couple or just each other. Yeah, I would say that's something that we both really look forward to together.
I have a great sense of humor. So that, see? So I keep her on her toes
Yeah.
with my great sense of humor.
What he means is he hides around corners and scares me like multiple times a week, including today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, just to round things up, what is the one thing you love about Dave that Dave doesn't know?
That Dave doesn't know. Oh, I feel like I tell him all the things that I love. Okay, I love it that he's all like, oh, I don't want to get a dog, blah, blah, blah. And then a week later, after we get the dog, he's sleeping on the couch with the puppy.
Aww.
I love that he wakes up in the morning and he's like talking to the dog, and every morning he wants to cuddle, and he like acts all tough and, oh, we're not going to do this, but he really has a soft heart.
Oh, that's so cute. What about you?
Oh, no, it's actually, it's funny. No, it's not funny. I don't say things as much as I should. I'm reading the 5 Love Languages, and it's actually something that we explored quite a while ago, which was kind of an aha moment for me to understand that I'm trying to feed her and show her love by what I like, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing I gotta show her that I love her with what how she accepts things. And compliments is something that she does. Like, I may have told her a few times, but I guess it's something that I need to share with her more. I talk very highly of Kristi when I'm with other people. I've kind of mentioned it to her before, but she probably doesn't know how often I do it. It's almost on a daily thing that I actually praise her in a sense, which she probably doesn't know about because I don't do it around her. It's almost the opposite where people, we've had friends in the past that have, I've been with some guys and they're badmouth their wives, and I'm like, it made me appreciate Kristi even more. I'm like, I can't believe you. My wife isn't like that. She doesn't. My wife is great. I know. I picked my wife. I should hope that I can talk highly of her. And I've never said anything negative about my wife. Like, I know we have our struggles and stuff. I never do that to other people. I always talk highly of her. And I do know I need to say that more around you to let you know that. Because
That is so sweet.
I am proud of who you are.
Thanks.
I'm a pet. That's why I am.
Kristi, what did Dave wear on your first date? Dave, what did Kristi wear on your first date?
Oh, jeez.
Ooh, that was fast, Dave.
I know what she's gonna put. I'll guess hers.
Hold on.
Oh,
I'm
first
gonna
date.
spell it.
Not the
First
first time you
date.
saw me.
Right.
The
No,
first.
first date.
Okay.
Are you ready? Turn
Yeah.
it around.
Well, it'll be questionable as far as what was our
Okay.
first date.
Should we show it to each other or to the camera?
To each other
Okay.
and to the camera. Good one, Dave.
We went sledding. So he was wearing.
Yes.
You were wearing your winter coat, and oh,
I remember you.
You
You
were
had a light
wearing-
pair of jeans.
you
I
were wearing
remember
that maroon shirt. Do you remember that maroon shirt you had? That was like that dark purple reddish shirt, and the apron, because you guys made cookies after. The men made cookies. Like it was like a group date. I have a picture of it of that day.
So is it fair to say Dave doesn't remember what Kristi was wearing?
He thinks maybe light jeans.
I remember the light jeans. I was checking out her legs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, who has better style between both of you? Dave just gave the answer away by that smile. Well, okay,
All
let's
right.
go.
I'm always asking her, "Does this look good? What should I wear?" Well, whatever you like. Well, you pick for me because I'll go with that.
Okay. What's your favorite food? So Dave, what's Kristi's favorite food? Kristi, what's Dave's favorite food?
Okay.
If he could eat anything every day for the rest of his life, what would that be?
I'm drawing a blank. But
Oh, okay.
All right. Pho?
can I'm not done.
Oh, okay. I thought you were done.
Dog's up there. I don't know.
Freckles.
Ready? Let's go.
I don't
Salad.
know.
Oh, salad.
I know it's not, but
It's not salad, but that's
I
okay.
know.
I do like salad.
What is your favorite food?
Would you say pho?
no,
Okay.
but probably Vietnamese noodles.
Vietnamese noodles. Yeah. My favorite food is probably Freckles. Get down. You come over here. You come over here. I don't know. I don't know if I even have a favorite food.
I should have just put food.
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
In general.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who has better taste in music?
I've learned early in a relationship,
Always say your
disagree with
wife,
your wife.
eh? Good one. Excellent. Now, who's the funniest?
I don't know why I'm erasing this.
It's probably the same answer. Oh.
Hey, who does all those moves?
Are we
That
gonna have
makes
to
you
call
laugh
the
all the
kids on
time.
this to decide?
I laugh at myself a lot. Freckles.
Okay, now for our last question. What would be the perfect date for Kristi and what would be the perfect date for Dave?
Oh, what's Kristi's perfect date?
Mm-hmm. Ready? Okay, let's
Alright.
go.
Ah,
Oh,
weekends
okay.
away without kids, pretty much.
Mm.
Yep. I said 1 month in Croatia or in Europe. That's not really a date, but that's
It's a getaway.
one of our like couple goals.
Okay.
But yeah, probably the same thing that he wrote. I think he wrote the right answer for both of us.
Mm.
Weekend
Just so we,
away without the kids.
just so
we
we
love
can
that.
with
Alone.
by
Yeah.
ourselves
No
alone
kids.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
to just finish off, like, what advice do you want to give married people out there, whether they're young, whether they're old? What advice would you give?
I would like to say that marriage is tough. It's not going to be easy. But you got to understand each other and have the communication at the beginning of the relationship. What's your goals? Where do you want to be? The thing that is, I feel, that's kept us together and our personal purpose for all the decisions that we make is where we believe where we're going to be after this life.
Yeah.
It's very important to us. We have strong faith in what we believe. And with that, it includes a marriage, it includes our jobs, it includes where we live, it includes every daily decision that we make. Because the people that we are here today, God will see who we are and take our strengths beyond this life. And so it's important for us to gain the knowledge that we need to while we're here.
Yeah.
We're given this body to be able to experience life, to fall in love, to get married, to have kids, to experience all these things these gifts that we have been given. But again, it is hard. People think that it can be a fairy tale, but moments can be. But throughout it all, it's work. But it can be fun along the way.
Yeah, and I guess I would say you always want people to forgive your faults, right? Like you're always looking for forgiveness and for people to accept you as you are. And I think in a marriage, you need to extend that to the other person and hope for that in return, because nobody's going to be perfect. And when you're always focused on the things that the other person is doing wrong, you can't see them. You're just looking at their faults. And if you extend to them forgiveness for their faults and lenience for the things that they struggle with, then you can, if you can both do that together, then you can be happy because you're not so worried and you're not just focused on the bad things.
Are you telling me this, or is this advice?
Well, I'm saying it to you and
And to the
To the
world.
and
listeners.
to Joanita and to the
Right,
world. Yeah,
exactly.
just for anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for
Yeah, you're
joining us
welcome.
on Truth today.
You're welcome.
And again, like my husband and I, since we've met you guys, like we really admire you guys. Like seriously, really, really admire you guys. And your marriage is so beautiful. You know, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
we
we-
really admire you too.
Oh,
We like to
really?
bring beautiful people in our relationship. That's something that we've experienced being around other marriages that have been very negative,
Yeah.
and notice that negativity start to build onto us, and it's almost like poison, which we
Yeah.
had to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually wasn't until we moved here to this area that we started focusing on the friendships that we build. We see how they treat each other, the husband and wife treat each other, and I'm like, that's what I like to see. I like to look up to other people. I like to be friends with people where we can learn from them
Mhm.
both ways. That hey, it's strong, but they're human too,
Yeah.
right? Everyone has things that they go through,
Yeah.
but we really like to involve other people in our lives that have strong relationships, and we're grateful we met you guys.
Ditto. We are too. So please share this, like it, and comment. Thank you again for watching.